in all of that, I felt like all of that in the end is because sometimes when you outgrow a place, it's time for you to move on, and things start to occur that causes you to move or pushes you out from your comfort zone. But those were hurtful things. However, it's still that ministers, pastors, leaders have a certain obligation before God to do right by God's people. But anyways, I ended up moving to another town. So that when I did move, I still went to church there sometime, but it was never the same. So I started trying to go to a another church. But anyways, since then, things with going to brick and mortar congregations have not been the same. And when I started seeing things differently, seeing how people could pay their way into positions in the church, depending on how much money they gave or who their family was, that it really wasn't people doing ministry work or being ministers just based upon the fact that God has called them, they were anointed or they were chosen. You know, things go different. But anyways, God healed me of that, and I told God I wasn't going to move from there because of the hurt. Because I saw it up close and personal that I had to watch somebody pretty much after a church hurt. They made bad decisions till it took them to their death. And and the people in the congregation didn't even care what really had transpired to try and heal that relationship or that brokenness. When it wasn't their responsibility, no, but when we read the word to a certain extent, it is. But I just didn't want that to be me, but to a certain extent, that will I ever be the same and look at ministries the same? After that, I don't know, and it brings me, this is going to have to be a part two because I got an appointment. You guys, I love you. I'm going to have to do a part two to this video because this one has gone kind of overboard. But I do thank you guys for continually tuning into my channel. So I'm going to have to do a part two to this one. It may be even a part two or part three. But we can go on and on and on about church hurt, but you don't want to dwell on church hurt. But I do want to put this disclaimer in there, as God said, you know, that, you know, he said, I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord. So God do have some ministers and leaders who have either learned their lessons, you know, they've grown, but they're really doing things from the heart of God, and they do care about the people of God. But then there are some that are just in positions because of who they know, who they're married to, not because God has chosen them or called them or anointed them, you know. So if you are a person who is going through church hurt, do not let that destroy you spiritually or your relationship with God or lead you off into the wrong path. Stay the course, because that really is a trick of the enemy. And very much so, because that's all he come to do is to kill, steal, and destroy. So, but God came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Okay, so I'm going to end this video. I'm going to do a part two to this, maybe. I'm not sure, but I think this is pretty much all I really needed to expound on this, because I don't want to delve too much in church hurt, because sometimes you can, we know it's a big issue. It's not a secret. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to thank you for tuning into this channel. for keep coming back visiting and blessing me with your presence. And I thank you and continue peace and blessings. I love you. Bye now. Love you guys.